A 23-year-old man who thought he was unbeatable and smarter than everyone has now been sentenced to death in Thailand.
Here we go. We have another individual in 2025 who wants to do the most while in Thailand. Because this British guy was caught with 9 kilograms of crystal. Now he's facing being executed in Thailand.
Yes, just as you heard, the news is 100% real. It turns out that a British tourist thought it was a good idea to sell illegal substances in Thailand. In an Asian country, with everything that implies, and in Asia they don't mess around, they don't beat around the bush, criminals face the consequences. Really. Here, we're told a British tourist with a baby face, yes, that's what they're calling him, baby face. He could face the death penalty, and that's very likely what will happen to him because they caught him with a suitcase full of illegal substances. Exactly with the crystal from Breaking Bad, from Walter White, from Heisenberg. So just imagine the complete madness. This guy thinks he's really smart, thinks he's really clever. He thought he wouldn't be found in Thailand, and he was completely wrong. The police caught him. And not only have they locked him up in prison, because now he's already in jail. Not only will he face the death penalty, but he was also publicly ridiculed. Just imagine, they made him take pictures pointing at the package of illegal substances. This guy was ridiculed in Thailand. Although, let's be honest, I think at that point, being publicly humiliated is the least of his problems. Because obviously this guy is already facing the death penalty. Now, there's something very interesting, and that's these faces he had. He seemed to have a certain confidence. That's what catches my attention. I think he must believe that I don't know the United Kingdom is going to rescue him. No, man. You're not in Europe or the United States. You're in Thailand, in Asia. Here, they don't mess around. It's no coincidence that Asian countries are growing. Even Southeast Asian countries are booming. They're developing at phenomenal levels. And if that wasn't enough, they're also extremely safe countries. Ask yourselves why that is, because here, criminals face the consequences.
Why do these people keep trying to smuggle things, knowing that in these countries they have the potential to simply get you out of here? The individual is 23 years old. His name is George Wilson. And as you can see in the photo, here they won't just arrest you, put you in front of a judge, and you face the craziest sentence known to man. Because nobody really wants to be taken out of here and brought to heaven. They're going to take a photo, show you with the bag of narcotics, shame you everywhere, and make an example out of you. I don't know why in 2025 people still think they can get away with it. You were obviously trying to take something out of the country. It doesn't matter how much you owe or if you're about to be evicted. If someone offers you a sum of money to take something out of a certain country, politely refuse. Put on your sneakers and run. Go back to your country and relax. George Wilson, you're facing the craziest sentence.
Very true. Like the case of this individual, a tourist from California, United States, who was traveling in Da Nang, Vietnam, and ran out of money, and he thought robbing a jewelry store was his best idea. Obviously, they ended up catching him, and the guy is going to face 30 years in prison with hard labor. To be clear, in Thailand, Malaysia, Vietnam, Singapore, and the United Arab Emirates, in these Asian countries, there is zero tolerance against criminals, and above all, there is zero tolerance for sellers of illegal substances.
3 years in a Thai prison. That's what this Briton is facing after he was caught with a substance hidden in his passport by immigration. He's Jamie the Enfield from North London. And as soon as he handed his passport to the immigration officer in Phuket to get his visa stamped, that's when they noticed the small plastic bag with 0.42 grams of the substance. Apparently, he acted surprised and then started to tremble.
Yes, this news is also completely real, and in fact, it happened in the year 2024. However, I want you to put one thing into perspective. This guy was given 20 years in prison for having a small amount of illegal substance in his passport, which is crazy because the guy had it inside his passport right when he handed it to the immigration officer to enter Thailand. I mean, it's just ridiculous, it's insane, and they gave him 20 years in prison. Now just imagine this 23-year-old guy who was found with a suitcase full of crystal meth. Obviously, this guy is going to get the death penalty.
My question is, how did that get in his passport? Did he know it was there? And why would he give it to immigration? Was it a friend's prank during a night out? Because if that's the case, it could probably be one of the worst pranks of all time. Or could he have accidentally left it in his pocket and it just slipped into his passport? I don't get how it ended up there in such a small amount. Now he's charged with importing and possessing Category 2 narcotics, which carries a prison sentence of 20 years to life and a fine of £43,000. Imagine taking a vacation and spending 20 years in a Thai prison. I want your opinion. What do you think happened? How did it get into his passport and why bring it to Thailand? We all know the consequences here are severe.
You're not in Europe anymore. You're in Thailand, kid. Let us know. A British tourist could face the death penalty in Thailand for allegedly trying to take a suitcase full of crystal out of the country. George Wilson, 23, appears in court Wednesday, accused of attempting to take 9.15 kilograms of crystal from Bangkok International Airport. How will you get that out? What were you thinking? I'm sorry, what were you thinking? Honestly, I've been to Bangkok International Airport. I know it. It's an extremely modern airport. How did this guy think he was going to get the illegal substances out of there? Look, actually, I'm going to show you what Bangkok International Airport in Thailand looks like, which has the code Bangkok International Airport. Look, I'm telling you, this is a very modern and beautiful airport. Even the bathrooms show you everything here. Imagine, it's truly a very, very top-notch airport. Actually, I believe it's the airport with the most airlines in the world. There are so many people who go to Thailand, to Bangkok. It's one of the most well-known tourist destinations on the planet. And this guy believed and thought that in this airport, he was going to manage to get a suitcase with 9 kilograms of illegal substances through. Seriously, you have to be really, really dumb to believe that. It was really obvious that they were going to catch him. Really, really obvious. Look at this. Just look at it. Incredible, incredible. The level of craziness. What the heck was he thinking? I'm telling you, the guy faces the death penalty. And honestly, I'm not surprised. That's what happens in Asian countries. Check out more photos of Bangkok International Airport in Thailand. This is where the guy tried to transport those prohibited substances. Seriously, you have to be really, really crazy to do that. I'm telling you, it's an airport that looks pretty good, that looks very, very modern. It's a very functional airport. Look, just look. I mean, it's really beautiful. It's very big. And I don't know what the hell that person was thinking. Look at this. Do you see? It's a modern airport. It's a top-level airport. I really don't know what the heck that guy was thinking. But well, now he has to face the consequences. The death penalty, it's that simple. Those are the consequences. Here we can see more photographs of that guy's arrest. When they asked him what was in the suitcase, he replied, "I don't know. I have no idea what I'm carrying, what I'm transporting." And well, when the police opened everything, they found the crystal. Just like that. Unbelievable. Ladies and gentlemen, please be very careful if you travel to Asia. Be extremely careful. It's an incredible continent. It's a spectacular continent. I love it. Way more than Europe, without a doubt. However, being very honest with you, you need to be careful. Here, there is zero tolerance for criminals. And this happens in almost all Asian countries, with a few exceptions. The vast majority of Asian countries have very, very strict rules against criminals. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I would really like to know what you think and what your opinions are about all this. The lesson: don't do foolish things in Asia. See you next time.